All right. I'm getting sleepy, but there were some things I wanted to share that came to me today, kind of as observations, is that there's a lot of moments of doubt and fear and frustration and now I'm letting too much time go by. It's like there's always this part, this inner part of you that's driving you to do this. It's like it might have started with personal development. Maybe it started with therapy. Maybe it started with something and then it's like you just kept going with it and you kept searching, you kept seeking for your truth. You kept trying to open your heart. You kept trying to learn from the lessons, and there were moments of questioning, like why other people aren't waking up, like why other people don't have these visions, or like have this desire, I guess it's more like, because and it feels like most of the people that I've come into contact with in the past, I don't know how many years it's been, have been tests and or have been people that ended up becoming someone that was, I don't want to say an enemy, but just wasn't like, they're not going to be someone that I'm going to be building with. And so there's a lot of that's like, there's a lot of injustice, and there's a lot of like, there's so much craziness that I've been through as a single parent, and stuff that I've been through with my kid, and like almost losing my mind so many times, and like the amount of times in the past year I've hit the panic mode, and the realization that like so many people that I thought cared didn't. But what those moments are like, precious moments with God when you come out of it, because you're taking something from that, you're learning something from that, and you're able to bring that to the world in a new way. You're able to like translate it in its own way, or alchemize it and demonstrate it through you in a new way. And it just keeps growing you deeper in God and deeper in this strength within yourself, so that you're like become more and more and more they just said unfuckwithable, but like you're becoming more and more and more on your like sovereign, I guess, or like you don't need other people. And then it also creates this sort of just like, I guess like people, I truly think some people are scared of you, or they don't know how to take you. And then there's also potentially the people that do respect you. And it is sad in its own way. It's sad that it's like you have to go through almost dying for people to have respect. Like that to me is messed up, but it's also like there's this moment, there's this coming out of it when you realize it's like, okay, I chose this. Like I'm choosing this. I'm choosing to learn and walk in my truth. And I knew going into that you know that you don't know. You know that you don't know what you're going to have to go through, and you know that you don't know who's going to be beside you. But those moments when you're in that space, when no one's there, is very painful. And yet some of those types of things are like the most profound moments of learning, and learning about yourself too. And like there's so much of that too, because once you're in any kind of an isolated period, it's like there's so much truth that gets thrown at you, and there's so much like that of realizing, you know, there's people that you thought cared, or that you cared about, and there was all this time that you spent together. And it's not that it didn't have meaning, because I don't believe that. And I believe that what you put out there is still has meaning, but that, you know, relationships aren't what you thought they were. Like that's been a big revelation for me, and that it truly takes so much effort to build something that's sacred, to build a strong bond with someone, and create that type of, you know, covenant type of relationship. But there's been things like that I've been through with my kid, and that, you know, sometimes I think about our situation, and there are moments, I mean, I move through triggered moments probably daily, and I'm pretty sure I have CPTSD from, I don't even know what, and I think that I've been re-traumatized in some ways this past year, and yet you just keep going, because it's like, this is the journey that you're on, you know. And you're like, I know every time I move through a trigger and I don't react, I'm learning from it, and I know that I want to be calm and grounded and gentle. Like those are the things that drive me now. And it's so funny, because there was such a long period of time of like needing that validation and wanting validation, and then you just get to this place of like, fuck 'em. Like you just get to that place of just who doesn't like you, and you're like, I love me, like I love who I'm becoming, I love this. And there's so much of like, okay, what's coming to me is like, you're not going to be able to be it all. Like you can't just play all the hats, but you kind of like are in learning to love and embrace the ones that are meant for you, or that you cherish the most. Or, you know, like for me being a mom right now, and like because that came to me earlier, of like, there's been such a lack of freedom, and how like that there's been so much injustice and stuff like that with that, and how much sacrifice I've had to make for my kid, and yet the circumstances that we're still in and that sort of thing. But like there's been so much of that. I thought for so long that I was like, you know, just not having more possum options was like detrimental to my health. But I was like, I'm also learning to be, I'm growing, there's always like growth that's possible. Like, there's so much that you're relearning. Let me put it that way. Let me speak it that way, because we don't really know what we're capable of. We don't really know who we can be and become. And that's another thing that's so amazing about this, because it's like, God's like, let's just wow them. Like, I don't know. That's kind of silly, but it's like, it's just like, he's like, let's just, you know, blow them out of the water. Like, don't, it's not, I don't know. I'm trying to think of how to describe it, but it's just like, he's like, I know this was, okay, let me see. This is what's coming to me. He's like, I know that this was unfair. Like, this was hella unfair. Like, you should have had more options. You should have been able to whatever. Like, you deserve to have more freedom. But you know what? You grew through this, and this is what you're going to bring to the table now. That's kind of just what's coming to me, because it's like, you kind of have these moments of just like, it is what it is, because you haven't been able to figure it out, or you just haven't been you haven't been manifested something, you haven't been given it. And there's so much that you're learning, it feels like you're able to grow more in courage, and more, you're able to move more with the heart, and slowly open it, and slowly move more and more with that courage, that like heart-led energy, because instead of the mind, because there's been so much of that I've been moving through this past year. It's been so much like crown chakra related stuff, and so much that of realizing that, you know, these different, you're forced to face it all. Like I realize that I get stuck in overthinking cycles, and I waste energy that way, and I waste energy worrying, and I waste energy with that. Like I think that this is a specific part of my chart that I've been doing this for as long as I can remember, of feeling like the world has all these expectations of me. And ironically, I've been always been someone independent. I mean, I've had codependencies that I've been working through and healing. But realizing that's me, I psych myself out in that way. That's all mental. When I drop back into my heart, when I'm nurturing myself, when I'm making sure my needs are met, I'm immediately get out of that space and realize that, and the reflection is that people are warm and friendly and don't put all these expectations on me, and don't expect me to be superwoman. And that will continue to be something I have to move through, because I am a single parent. But that's the beauty too in all of this, because you're just like are embracing this new you, and these parts of who you are now. And like now I want to be calm and grounded and gentle, and I'm sure that I have fiery moments. I know in all my dances, and there's moments, but I want that. I want to keep working through I'm already on that path of like working through my emotions. And if there's people that you know, are still like, you're just not going to be around the people that just want drama or whatever, because you're like walking, you're just more stoic, I guess. It just is like kind of how it is. But that allows me to be in a higher vibration. It allows me to bring more joy and more gratitude. There was one other thing that was coming to me, but now I think it's gone. There's just so much that you're learning, and like the different woundings that I've come to realize that, and like the amount of things I think as a woman that, like the insecurities that I've had and stuff like that, but then that's what's so special, is it's like, you know, God keeps showing you like there's not all these timelines, like there's not this rush, like you're enough as you are, like embrace this moment, like you have all the time to work on these habits that you want to be better on, and just keep putting out what comes through, and the right people are going to be there. And there's this peace and this gratitude in that's, you're like, it reminds you like, okay, this is why I'm doing this. This is the path for me. The injustices happened, like the pain and the fear, and like, you know, but you're like, but I'm stronger now because of it. Now I've learned things. Now I'm not dependent on all these other things like I was before. And it is what it is, but it's like it makes you appreciate the journey and your own heart and God and life and your connection with things and the path that you're meant to be on. And accepting that pain and suffering is no one escapes that. Okay, I'm gonna stop there.